Shadow is a hero or not. Shadow is an anti-hero or not. Shadow is a villain or not.
In anime, there are good guys, there are bad guys, there are those guys in between. The good guys being considered heroes, the bad guys being considered villains, and those guys in between being considered anti-heroes, who occasionally do a bit of good, mix it with a bit of bad. And thus, where do we place Shadow? Well, for one, Shadow is not a hero, or he doesn't see himself as a hero. He sees himself as more of a background character in his own anime. So, what really makes up a background character? A background character is someone who doesn't really stand out in moments, or who just goes with the flow of whatever situation they find themselves in. And so, Shadow tends to see himself as a background character or a mobful character. See, he has a list of things that he wants to do, and fulfilling those things make him a typical background character. Well, does that make him a hero or a villain? One thing's for sure, Shadow is not a hero. His whole ideology is something which he made up, which unfortunately turns out to be true. You see, Shadow's aim is to become the Eminence in shadow, someone who lurks in the shadows while hunting the shadows. A bit cliche if you ask me, but still, that is what he derives, or that is what he's aiming for at the end of the day. And so he goes about doing basically what he feels like, without paying care or taking into account the emotional attachments or the feelings of others. Thus we see that he has a bit of a villainous tendency if you ask me. Does that make him a villain? Well, he has done some good things actually, like rescuing Alpha and cooking up a story about her being kidnapped by the cult of Diablos who go after children possessed like Alpha, with the sole aim of resurrecting the demon Diablos to use his power to take over the world. Which, by the way, turns out to be true, who Shadow sees as just a regular group of bandits. And thus his main aim for fighting those bandits is just going after their treasures. He considers that as part of his Eminence in shadow behavior, thereby making him a thief if you ask me. So, is he a hero? Is he a villain? Actually, he's a thief. Considers going after bandits part of his Eminence in shadowy ways. But what he's really after is their treasure, basically stealing from his stealer. Does that make him a hero? Was Robin Hood a hero? Yes. But you won't classify Shadow or compare Shadow to Robin Hood, as he remixes this situation, robbing the bandits to enrich himself, thereby making him nothing but a thief actually. Another thing we have to take into account is the fact that every hero has a bit of plot armor, or in this case, Shadow doesn't just have plot armor. He has the plot, or he is the plot itself, as everything seems to revolve around him. Whatever action he takes is considered genuine or considered right in the eyes of many people. As the story progresses on, that part comes to play into this conversation. There are numerous examples of various things that are considered to be misunderstanding that actually turn out in Shadow's favor at the ending. His greatest misunderstanding led to the creation of an organization known as Shadow Guard, with 666 or 666 girls who worship him as their Lord and Savior. These organizations mean him to eradicate the cult of Diablos, while Shadow sees it as them basically just hunting bandits. Once again, does that make him a hero? No. Does that make him a villain? No. Does that make him an anti-hero? No. What is he? He's just a background character. Can I just say, his ideology of the Eminence in shadow, the one who lurks in the shadows while hunting the shadows, is just cliche.